You've said that you need more than emotion to win a game like this. You have to have execution. Was poor execution the biggest problem tonight, or was the team not in the right frame of mind as well?
No, I think, and that's what I told the team afterward, that I felt like where I let them down was I didn't have them ready to play with the right level of discipline and execution. And I thought emotionally, they got a better understanding what rivalry means. So I think emotionally they were ready. They were ready to play because last year we didn't have much emotion when we played in this game, and so I thought that was there, but just execution and not It's one or two plays, right? One or two plays can turn the tide in the game, and we didn't have the right discipline on certain plays, and that's on me. I got to go get that fixed.
You guys went with Tony
Mm-hmm.
today as your starter. When did that decision come about, or how did that decision?
Yeah, so that decision was made essentially on Sunday night, Monday morning, and that's how we started the week. And man, I got to evaluate everything, and so I sat back after the last game and just kind of looked at where we were offensively, and we've been struggling kind of for the last 4 games or so, 4 or 5 games, and it wasn't all AC's fault, and that's what I told him. I said, this is not necessarily anything that you did. In particular, in the last game, he didn't have a ton of protection around him, right? But I just felt like I needed to do something to help the offense. And I know that there had been times when Tony was inserted in the game. He gave us a little bit of a spark. I also knew that I had 2 young freshman backs that would be out there. So just looking at the big picture, what I felt like would give us the best opportunity to be successful, I just needed to do something to help get the offense jump-started. And again, wasn't going to make the change during the last game because I didn't think that AC's play warranted that. But when I looked at the last 4 to 5 weeks, I just felt like I needed to do something as the head coach to try and help the offense by maybe giving us a little bit of different spark in the game. And I felt like the best thing was to give Tony an opportunity to practice the week as a starter to see if we could get things going. And I thought we had a good week of practice. We just, we took a chance on the first play, kind of backfired, got us behind the chains, and then we had a couple of other drives where we were backed up, which is difficult. And then we just came to life offensively too late.
Right. Any thoughts on reviewing that play where McDonald and Chico?
Yeah.
Popped out?
I was right there in the ref's ear, like, hey, can we look at that? Are they looking at it up top? Did they see anything? And he told me that they looked at it up top, and they said they would look at every play and they let it go. So.
Yeah, just offensively, how would you, rate how Dez called this game? I know different circumstances, but just how do you think kind of the game plan went?
I'll answer that after I actually review the tape to see exactly, just like I did last week in the game, and I looked at it and felt like biggest thing for me is, do we have numbers? Do we have angles? Right? I felt like it was a good plan. I felt like there was some ways to move the pocket. I felt like there were some alternate protections in case we were having just absolute issues protecting the quarterback. But I'll look at it because, again, in the heat of the moment, you see one thing, and then when you go watch the tape, you see other things. But just know that every week I evaluate it based off of my experience as a play caller, and what I'm looking for is in that situation, do I deem that a bad call? And then also, are you putting the players in position to have angles and to have numbers? And I felt like last week, when you look at the tape, we had numbers, we had angles, and we just didn't have great execution. And then I'll watch the tape again here. But to give an analysis, right now after the game without having seen, all of the different coaching angles, I don't believe it's fair.
Tech had to go with its number 3 quarterback
Yeah.
tonight. He was very productive passing and with his feet.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be able to make him a little less comfortable than you looked at?
That's what we were hoping, and I felt like early on we had him, in the backfield, and instead of staying on the upfield shoulder, man, we're on the downfield shoulder and he spins out. Right, or when we got him boxed in, we don't go down a level and get down on his legs to tackle him, and he breaks a tackle. I mean, we knew that he's a really good runner, and what I saw in the last game is that he can throw the ball, very, very efficiently and very effectively. And so I think early on we had some opportunities, maybe to get him stopped before he started, but we weren't able to get him on the ground. And then again, his confidence and the momentum builds throughout the course of the game. And I thought they did a good job of moving the pocket on him and giving him some run pass options. And I thought he did a good job of taking advantage of some of the things that we didn't do well.
You guys started this year 4-4,
Yep.
football, 6 of your last 7 games.
Yep.
Competition level increased. What needs to change to match some of that competition level that you guys saw over the past 4 or 5 weeks of the year?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we gotta continue to grow our depth, improve our depth, both this year and last year down the stretch. Injuries take a toll, and so we got to improve the quality of our depth, and then we gotta make sure we don't beat ourselves. When you look at down the stretch, whether it's one game, if it's not turnovers, then it's getting the quarterback sacked, right? If it's not sacks, then it's turnovers, right? Or it's critical penalties in certain situations that don't allow you to establish rhythm, or it's not having your eyes disciplined where they need to be on defense, or not wrapping up the ball carrier when you got him stopped, for a minimal gain that turns into, when it turns into, if you got a guy wrapped up for a 2-yard gain and it turns into an 8-yard gain, then that's very difficult to overcome, because now you're in a short yardage situation. So a lot of it is things that we can control, that we got to go to work, and I got to coach better. The staff has to coach better, and we got to continue to improve our football team.
Do you spend kind of the next few days evaluating the entire program, or do you jump right into recruiting? How do you kind
Yeah.
of
It's a tough timetable, all right, because signing day is on Wednesday, right? It's going to be on us before we know it, and then the portals open after that. So we're going to first have to try and address some of the immediate needs from a roster standpoint, and then we'll have time once we get through signing day to really be able to evaluate everything in the program from A to Z.
How did you think Tony did tonight?
Oh, man, I thought he battled. I thought he left it all on the field. I thought the guy was scrapping. He ran the ball, converted some first downs for us. I thought he battled. I think he wants those 2 throws back for sure. Had a couple balls that I thought should have been caught to help him out, with the exception of the balls that sailed on him. The interceptions, man, I thought he battled. Had a good look in his eye and put his body on the line. So he gave us everything that he had.
Kind of following up on Greg's question about this offseason, where do you feel like you need to add depth in this class? Where do you kind of move forward from there?
Yeah, I think because we're going to lose a lot of seniors, right? So we're losing about a lot of guys that have been around the program for a while. I think every position, we gotta go make sure that we address our depth issues, right? From whether it's the addition of high school guys or whether it's the addition of portal guys to kind of balance out, where we are, because we don't want to be too young of a football team. So we got to add some veteran leadership and some veteran experience, but we may not have that, in the pipeline with what we currently got on the roster. So every position is going to be evaluated to try and see can we find the right mixture of depth to give us the best chance to compete next season.
You've seen Virginia Tech now twice,
Yep.
Once at home, once here. Where do you think the separation between the 2 programs is to now be 0-2 against them?
Yeah, I think that last year we didn't have the right mindset to play that game down in Charlottesville at all. I felt like this year we had the right mindset. I think that obviously their D-line's really good, and I think that poses us a problem with where we are up front on the offensive line from a depth standpoint. I feel like that their secondary guys got some experience and some length and some speed, and but I'd say probably right now their defensive front versus our offensive front was the biggest area where I saw a difference.
Any other questions for Coach?
will you seek quarterback help in the portal?
As I said, every position's got to be evaluated and looked at. I think it's man, you saw what happened tonight. They were down to their third quarterback, and he was able to go out and play winning football to give them a chance to win an ACC game. So, we're losing Tony. Tony doesn't have any eligibility left, and right now we only got 2 scholarship guys on the roster, and we got a couple of freshmen coming in, but we need to look at every position and see where we can add quality depth to help us get better.